Poetry is the revelation of a feeling that the poet believes to be interior and personal, which the reader recognizes as his own. That's a quote from Salvatore Quasimodo, and this is the Inspired Poetry Corner. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're in. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautiful Sunday. The Inspired Poetry Corner Sunday Kind of Love, where we gather to spotlight one of our own, one of our poets, and then supported by the Not Ready for Primetime poets who will come afterwards. We have a really great show today, so we'll get into it. Before I introduce this brilliant young man, we're all veterans of the Zoom rooms, but just to remind you, this is a recording, so please play nicely in the sandbox. We're always respectful. We'll be cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet. And today, as we're cruising in the ethers of poetry, I'm going to invite you, as you're sitting in your rooms, in your homes, in your comfort, I want you to think about, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And to carry that through our time together for the next 2.5 hours. What are you grateful for? And maybe towards the end, we can just shout out some of the things we're grateful for. But I think it's important, especially with all the things that are going on, we kind of forget at times there's still a lot of good going on in the world. There's still a lot of people doing really amazing things. So, for myself, I try to practice gratitude every day. So I just wanted to mention that today as we embark on this journey of poetry. What are you grateful for as we sit here, as we come together? And we do this not just for my show, for all the shows that you guys all participate. And, you're all doing your part to promote poetry. I don't know about you, but I think poetry has never been at such a high in our humanity. You're seeing poetry, being shared from pillar to post, the four corners of the globe. So I think it's important that us poets truly take time to also reflect on what we're grateful for in our lives, what we're grateful for in our community, both online and in the physical world. So having said that, I'm just looking at you guys, and I will take a screenshot at hopefully towards the middle. I might ask you all if you're comfortable putting on your camera, but just take a moment to gather in. I know we came in early, and I love the banter that we have before the show, but take a moment and really absorb, look at the faces of our humanity. Doesn't matter what your skin tone is, your religious beliefs, your political beliefs, your sexual orientation. I really don't care. I just see humans in front of me. And at times it just moves me to think that I'm a member of this species. As our propensity to do some terrible things is there, but man, I truly believe the majority of humans have a good heart and want the best for each other. And sometimes we just forget that. So as we do, like I said, as we do cruise at this altitude of poetry today, what are you grateful for? Take that with you. Having said that, format is very simple. I will call on our feature to do their set for about 20-25 minutes, and then I will do an interview. I like to try to get to know the poets outside of poetry and what motivates them, and then followed by the Not Ready for Primetime poets. I think we have a list about 15 poets today that would like to share. And Not Ready for Primetime poets, for those that don't know, it's just a play on words. I stole that from Saturday Night Live back in the day when Saturday Night Live was still good, and they used to have the Not Ready for Primetime players. So I kind of like that play. So, but you're all worthy of it. But I always think it's important that we stop and appreciate and have gratitude for one of our own. So having said that, we're here today to support this young man. He's a village boy with a dream. He hails from the glorious Matopo Mountains in Zimbabwe. He explores, he explores extinction through spoken word, his Afro-House music, and creating platform for artists to explore creativity. To date, his shelves of achievements as a poet include 7 Slam champion titles, 7 Slam championship titles from 6 different countries, and trails a collection of 21 poems published in 2022 by the Ubuntu Afro Publishers. He currently lives in Sierra Leone, starting open mic sessions in the country's towns and city centers to strengthen community among the creatives. At the time of this, he has successfully started 3 open mics in 3 different cities where he's living in Sierra Leone. I have a lot of admiration for this young man. He's not just trying to promote his artistry, he's doing so while trying to uplift others and inspire others to do the same. He has a spotlight on himself that he graciously and willingly shares with others because he knows it's not about him only. You don't meet too many young people that have that kind of drive and tenacity to want to make a difference in the world, and not just the bigger world, but in the world that he lives in his communities, wherever he lays his head is home. So I ask the Inspired Poetry Corner community to unmute for a second and let's welcome to the stage Fongo, the world poet with a heart to match. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Fongo.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome.
Woo!
Man, says the goat as it runs from the maize field, protesting the needy little boy running after it, hurling a hail of stones at it. It makes sense. He was born to that village. His aunt's old white bookshelf blazed perfectly in that homestead to spark enough curiosity for a revolution to take place. Bittersweet. The story of Irene returning to and finding love in Freetown. Forget all the drama in between. Was it part of the compass that led him to this ball of potential waiting to explode? A mere coincidence? Reaching? Maybe we'll find out. Scattered. We are scattered across all 4 corners. We break back so that our breaks come faster, anticipating the day we will unite. Chitties, Svinuzwanaka. The mornings I can finally say, Livuka njani mama. How was your night, mom? Watch your smile as she says, Nyavuka mtanami. My night was well, my child. Knowing she ain't gotta worry about crossing the border again, cause that ship done sailed and 263 is bread basket again, and we break. What a dream. What a dream, what a dream, what a dream. Dreams come true, you know, individually, collectively, they do. But without action, we will dream until 2030, miss our families for years as long as we are providing. Is this how life should be? One man, private jets, the rest, they could die from thirst. The minister needed that new Gucci belt. What a dream, what a dream, what a dream. What does he know? about the grand plan of the creator. He is just a village boy. Rocks and mountains are opportunities for him to go higher, experience his environment from a higher plane. Recently, he discovered that mountain climbing is a sport. Maybe about 2 years ago, but it's still recent. He chuckles thinking about all the rocks he conquered in his childhood. This moment is one of them. I come from a land where thousands of my ancestors were butchered for the language they spoke, the parents they chose. Never. I come from a country where qualified people are denied employment because of their last names. Nonetheless, I love this country. I love this country so much I speak 3 of its official languages fluently. You would think I was Rene Garcia transurfing. Exhibit 1. Hatshi mfowethu. Ayisiyo insindaba phendule impilo njengokutshelwa kwakho. Ilukholo lezenzo zakho. Dala mdali wena uyisidalwa sikamdali. Bidliza ngomqondo langezwi amandla angawakho ayikho eyodwa engakumisa. Exhibit 2. Kusathenda Huroyi. Ukagara uchingo jamba maiwe zwangu hupenyu uchanaka rini iyi pakaipa ma wani angu zvese zvinoita semurairo wako zvokudzorera zviri pamira wozhamba kusvika wati eke. Exhibit 3. Purchase my debut book, which is penned in a language I wasn't born into. And yes, the electricity just went out. I'm sure you saw that in the news or something. Like, yeah, that's another story. You look at me, you tell me that I'm broken, yeah. You weigh me up and charge me with your flawed ways now. This ain't the way you should be. You're contradicting yourself. I'm not being myself. You're all up in my business. You look at me, you tell me that I'm broken, yeah. You weigh me up and judge me with your flawed ways now. This ain't the way it should be. You're contradicting yourself. I'm not being myself. You're all up in my business. When you ever gonna be alive? Tell me, please. When you ever gonna take a break and thank the trees? When you ever gonna take a break and be a king? Snatch the crown from the hands just like they done did. Match the energy in and out. 1 is 1. To get the balance in the system, I know you can do. Use your energy just like you do. When the checks come in and them sisters shaking and them brothers smoking like the streets in Soweto, 20 June 16, that's the sort of rioting, that's the sort of action you need to be taking. All of them damn things you feel to be out of place in your simulation. Life is acting, making choices, influencing scenes for the bigger picture, the blockbuster that is your life. You're the main actor, producer, director, you're the god. You're the god. Take a sip of water and give thanks for life. You're a god. Try those poems. He didn't just make his life philosophy the title of his debut book. He lives it, daring the universe at each opportunity, like that time in the 5th grade when Milton and Grevel convinced him to write a crush letter to Chlorine. Not only did he get in trouble at school, Grandma made sure some physical pain be the reminder next time he attempts stupid stuff like that. Allow me to take you down memory lane. That's if the events to unfold made it to your memory bank. If not, It is your time to learn. 1948, Azania. A system of legislation that upholds segregationist policies against 9 white citizens of South Africa begins. Thank you, Larry Page. Time leap, 1994. The openly brutal part of that system is concealed. Pause. Put the pen in the cassette, roll it back to 1980, Zimbabwe. An educated black man and his war-torn veterans win a country. The people celebrate until 2 years later, he begins slaughtering men and women who look like him, the only reason being their tongues bend differently. They don't say roughness, they say loveness. They don't say monkey bread, they don't say nok, hold. This poem was supposed to be about apartheid. But here I am talking black on black, butchering, short sleeve, long sleeve, getting rid of the hand that voted for the opposition, the hand that voted for progress when the ancients are still comfy in the Stone Age. You can't win a country with the ballpoint. Nika, are you winning below a command? I would rather hit the jungle, AKAs loaded. What are the trees with the blood of innocent fathers and brothers? I've seen it all. I have been to the end of the road. I've seen it all. I have been to the end of the road, only the dead ends. I have seen the light that creates the illusion of the end of the tunnel. It's wired to your mind. It shines brighter when you are thinking the end is nigh. It fades when you make disappointment home, when you don't see the lessons carried by each second. But now I bask in the awareness of self-first. You can never give what you don't have. Awareness of you, in you, and you. Awareness of everyone else, of broken seashells, ashtrays, objects that contribute to a smoker's experience of hell, anxiety. I write that to my script. I don't. No. Awareness tells me what it is, so I sit and observe this 3D render of the character I am. Pick up the pen, put it down, power up the MacBook, push it aside. The posters will not design themselves, but also, I can't do it now. I want to do something still, anything right now, anything that isn't this debate between me, myself, and I want to exist now. Thinking not that it can be done another time, I want to be free of time. Exist in a universe of my own design. Gratitude. Gratitude. I sure use that word a lot. But what does it mean? In this moment, how does it live? My actions, how do they preach? Sitting on the beach, orange and yellow dominating my vision, sacral and solar plexus awakening, aligning like the roots stretching out the sea, reminding me I am grounded. Gratitude. I'm happy. Maybe not satisfied. I'm learning to be not the feeling, but satisfaction itself. A lot I conceal selfishly, like the world I live in with its sets of to-dos and never to-dos, sets that have created beings who can't take jokes, say what you want about it. In an equal society, my thoughts deserve to be heard just like you want yours to be. Your freedom is important. Don't take mine to attain yours. I will walk the world in your shoes. Are you going to do the same with mine? Or you will lash out in anger and excuses of how I am victimizing you by asking the same you ask of me? Still, gratitude. Your existence is contributing to my experience. Dollar signs, a lumber truck, coming beach, shake the ass. My skin is brown, but you've been taught to call me black, so let's run with that. I listen to hip hop, dress the part sometimes. One guy in Rome called me Lil Pump. I was not happy about it. I'm not really into the how much money you got, which gun's your favorite, how many white women you've slept with kind of music. I remember calling it trash until J. Cole spoke with Lil Yachty. Now, I accept it for what it is on an imagined creator's perspectives. Above all, I'm proud of the young artists that have attained the global ear, making money at the same time. And yes, I am that village boy, the child of Sipila Nzima and Louis. I write poems and create free spaces for artists. I believe in me. I believe in me, myself, and the powers that be. They are my ancestors, green-lighting every sentence flowing through my fingertips. Doubt is an alien word we do not associate with. We live confidence. In 2019, I lost my first $3,000 in a deal gone bad. You see, I put so much importance on this one deal. Life without it was non-existent. In fact, life without it became non-existent. I disappeared even from myself with the gents at the corner. I just passed the joint, no audible contribution towards the daily political banter. That was a good thing for me, though. I told my stories to papers, some classified, even the presidents want them, some out of this world. I'll be dead before they comprehend. Then a prince called Rice suggested I speak some, and to my first open mic I went. What followed then were a series of evenings and mornings where I stood in front of the window. What followed then were a series of evenings and risings where I stood in front of the window, repeating poems till they started appearing in my dreamland, visualizing a me who stripped bare on stage, showing the world my scars and how I healed the pain at the back of my mind. A mantra I wrote at 16 saying, I am the word. I speak life to being. I am the act. I create. I act life to being. Yes, I am the one. The sponger of poetry, ain't there nobody else. I am the one. 3 years later, down the line, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7 times international slam champion. Nah, I ain't cocky. I wait for this, missed many an episode of Dreamland. I didn't sleep on this kuti. What you big about what you want now, what you king Makaipa. It will be cool to support us one day. Zimbabwe will show love and appreciation to her offspring one day. I am confident, stand firm on the vision through cyclones. I don't bend. I liken myself to nobody else. In my reality, there is absolutely no way that creation denied me a unique identity. Can't you see? Yes, I am worthy of all the praises I give myself. You think I'm full of myself. I bet you wish you were the one feeling me. Self-awareness is of utmost importance, and I come from a long line of rainmakers. The power of a single droplet resides in my DNA. That's how throughout history history. We have flooded rivers, nourished the root of the crop for a table to exist. So, no, ain't no way I put nobody else before me. How can I give you what I don't have? Is a scam, not on your end, but on mine more. So I'll shake up my collar, lift my head high, keep a red item around, lest I forget that I am off the ground. Stella Sabakwena, Bayete. Peace. Thank you.
When you're recording live or doing anything live, you never want dead air, but I just wanted us to just, before I say anything, just take in that. Oh my gosh. I am a brown man, but you were taught to call me black, so let's roll with that. I love that. How are you feeling right now, young man? I just witnessed someone pour his heart and soul into every bean that came out of your mouth. How do you feel right now?
I'm in a state of bliss. I'm in a state of bliss. I'm doing the things that I love, so I can only exist in a state of bliss.
Good for you. I love that answer. I asked about gratitude, and you mentioned it in a couple of your pieces before your ending. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for this moment. I am grateful I get to experience life. I'm grateful I get to experience everything that is life. I mean, everything, whether it's perceived good or perceived bad, I'm grateful I get to experience everything that I experience.
Yeah. Well, I think it's only fitting, and I'm pretty sure all that are in attendance right now. I would love to ask you, can you do an encore and do one more for us?
All right. Why? Why should I do it now if I can do it later? That's what I told myself. Distant plans seem safer. Claiming perfectionism, see, intricate details are fascinating till you realize it's a cover for fearful procrastination. Promising tired roads for years in a destination, walk the talk to find your destination, but nah. You can never do that whilst allowing too much hesitation. Talk is cheap, is not enough to manifest a vision. Dreaming big, but spending hours on television. I was on a joystick control, but yet out of control. Then later got consoled for ditching study over a gaming console. With the little time I've used on my dealings, I have been making a killing. Yet if I put in more weight on this, I'll be sticking to the ceiling. I'm willing, but I'm tired too. And I think you know the feeling. If I did it better, it will come with healing and extinguish the hell in my conscience. Waking up a few minutes before the sun, I just want to be better. I do this for my son, my mother, my family. I am making a plan, no more glorifying comfort until I am done. Completing tasks is a therapy session. I need recharge through literary meditation. I heal my buckles by reading the wisdom of Wallace D. Wackles and Vadim Zealand. Peace and power.
Thank you for that, brother. Thank you. Thank you. You're such a, I literally have goddess bumps going over my body right now. Like literally right now, just I'm buzzing and vibing. That was brilliant. I love the
Thank you.
fact
Thank you.
and how you can pull it out the top of your head. Um, you know, your performance is beyond electric. You know, like I said, I felt like I was witnessing someone pour every ounce of his being into what he was doing. You know, and that kind of leads to this question, you know, when even in your state now, what inspires you? What drives you? I know you do a lot of work in the community and with others, but what really drives you?
It's the ability to be able to experience anything that I want to experience. And I mean, anything is the ability to be able to get up right now and say, you know what, I'm going to go to this open mic in Ghana and be able to get up and go to the open mic in Ghana. It's the ability to be one with the world, not just in a philosophical perspective, but living that oneness, experiencing it through tangible things and tangible memories that we can pinpoint, like this and this and this and this and this.
I think when you get to the end of this life, you will look back and go, yeah, I emptied the gas tank.
I listened. I think it's an album. Yeah, it's a Big Sean. On his album, I decided. He says something like, I got to the end of my life and I started looking back, like, what did I do? These are not the exact words, but it's like, what did I do? What are the experiences? What are the choices that I made? And I feel like from that moment, I was like, you know what? Instead of climbing to the top of the mountain, why don't I climb down from the mountain? So I'm coming from a reality that has already happened and is just unfolding right now. That's all this is, that reality unfolding.
I like that. I like that a lot. Um, when you were a young man, a young boy,
Yeah.
was poetry a part of your life then?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
How did poetry come
Uh,
about for you?
so when I finished high school, I started writing short stories in Isindebele. I was posting those short stories on Facebook. At that time, I didn't know so much about Facebook, but one guy helped me create a page and this. I'm grateful. I've had the most amazing life. I've met the most amazing people in my life. I was writing those stories and posting them on Facebook. Then I started growing, getting exposed to more things, and I found myself believing and living this lie that we tell ourselves that I don't have a lot of time. So those short stories started seeming like long stories. So I had to cut it down. So by cutting it down, I started learning the art of poetry. Like, okay, so I want to talk about, for example, the rain dance. I want to talk about the rain dance, the ritual of the rain dance. I can write a book about that, but how do I write the book in 3 minutes?
And that's one of the great gifts of poets is being able to take life experiences and pare it down in a creative way that others could then understand or even craft their own experience through your words. So I love that answer. It's National Poetry Month, I guess, around the globe. So as a poet, and I know you do a multitude of different things, but as a poet, what role do you think poets play in our world today? Because I was saying earlier before you came on, I don't remember poetry ever being this high and visible in the culture, at least from my perspective. So, what role do you think poets play in our world today?
I think we, as poets, agents of the truth. We are able to sit down with the worst of choices that we make. We are able to sit down with them, put them down on paper, and perform them on stage, even though sometimes we hide these and be like, this is fictional, this, and that, but we're able to do that. And in turn, we kind of inspire everyone else, even if they don't write poetry or read poetry, but if they come across a poem, we inspire the whole world to be able to sit with themselves the way we do, because I know that whatever intention that you channel towards something, when the other person, I'll say the end user, receives that thing, the intention is also there. And I feel this from a lot of poetry, being able to sit down with them, understand where they were when they went through this, where they were when they were drinking coffee, or they were looking at the birds in the sky, or something tragic happened to them. Yeah.
What kind of young man were you? I mean, you're a young man now, in my estimation, but I mean more like a young boy, like the village you grew up. What were you like?
I was excluded from the rest of the other kids, which I'm grateful for right now. My grandmother kept me far from people. Like, she made it a point to tell me, like, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. The rocks that I was talking about climbing, I was not even allowed to do rock climbing. My grandmother would be like, no, 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 no. To the extent that my grandmother even sometimes didn't allow me to go work in the fields. She'd be like, no, no, I know you're my grandchild. You're not supposed to be there. Like, move away. So yeah, I kind of grew up alone, and sort of learned how to live and deal with the world alone. This is also kind of allowed me the time to get into a room full of people and observe, and see someone stealing someone's phone, and see someone who's feeling uncomfortable and be like, yo, don't worry, I'm also sitting on the corner there. It's okay. Don't feel like that uncomfortability is the end of the world. Lounge that uncomfortability, look at it differently. So it allows me to kind of be above everything in my life, really, not just in situations that involve other people, even in situations that involve just me. It allows me to stay above, because I've been on my own a lot. Like, I started living alone when I was in grade 7. That's when I started living alone. I think I was about like 10 or 11 or something like that. That was in 2008. So I started living alone in 2008. Then I alternated between living with other people, but I've always had this I think I'll call it lone wolf sort of life. Like, I just like doing things on my own. Sometimes I am outgoing. I'm like, yeah, let's talk with people. Let me call this person. Let me do this. But then most times I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I just wanna lounge in the beauty of being me, of being alone, of being able to experience things instead of being a catalyst, of just being an observer.
Right. I love that's a really good answer. I love how articulate you are about that. And I love when you talk about being a village boy and talking about the elders, the ancestors. I love how you greet, listening to how you greet Lantern. Even at times when you call me elder, it puts a smile on my face. Many people talk about the ancestors and those that came before, but when you use those terms, what does that really mean to you when you call upon the ancestors, when you call upon those that came before?
I know that we are one. We are all one energy, experiencing existence through Raul, through Zomkhonto, through Laura, through everyone here. So when I call on the ancestors, I call that energy of oneness, that energy of this moment, that energy of all the experiences that make up this planet that we have called Earth or Umhlaba. in Isindebele. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I'm sure the ancestors have got their ears perked up and going, yep, one of our grandsons is taking the stage and doing us proud, because I find you to be a breath of fresh air for a young man your age, to be so driven and to have such compassion, not just for yourself, which I think is quite healthy, to have that compassion and drive and desire to better yourself. But as I said in the intro, you also look to uplift as you do that, and that's quite inspiring. So I'm just blessed. I have a couple of more questions. I could ask you questions all day and just listen to you recite. No wonder you're a 6-time slam champ. You're brilliant in your delivery. It's not just the words, but it's how you articulate them and how you perform them, because you recognize it is a performance as well. So you've obviously continued to work on your craft. You work with many. I've participated in your show where you look to spotlight other poets, particularly where you live. But there's some young boy or girl running around right now, and every day they see you walking by and they may be afraid to approach you. But if they did approach you and they go, Mr. Elder, because you're going to be an elder to them, and they want advice from you, they're going to want advice from you, what would you tell them?
If you want a fruit that is on top of a tree, figure out ways, learn how you can get that fruit. You can either climb the tree, you can either find a long branch and put a wire in top, or just the branch and beat the fruit and let it fall down. Don't just be looking at the fruit and just thinking, I want that fruit, I want that fruit. Figure out ways and act them out. Get the fruit that you want.
Beautiful. Learn how to make yourself valuable, how to offer something, but also how to get it. Good advice. I love that analogy as well. That's a really good one. Last question. You've taken your last breath and you're on your way up to the pearly gates, and God and all the elders are sitting there waiting for you. As you approach, what would you want them to say as you walk up to the pearly gates?
Gratitude for all the experiences you had and created.
Well, I'm not surprised by that answer. But then again, you keep demonstrating it. That's one of the things I pick up from you. You don't just talk gratitude. You practice it. You walk it. You don't just wait. You're grateful for every step you can take. I think that's quite inspiring. I don't know much about you, but the little, I like to think I'm a good read of character. And then, of course, the way your uncle talks about you. I think you're beyond a breath of fresh air. Elemental always talks about, these storm gods, right? You're a storm god. You're a mover. You're a shaker. You're not going to. You are creating through that force that knows how to stir creativity. So the ones in your communities, in your country, and I know you're committed to walking around and starting as many open mics, you're a blessing for that. So I just want to say I'm thankful. I am grateful that you chose to honor the Inspired Poetry Corners this morning, that we can spotlight not just your poetry, but your brilliant spirit. We're witnessing an old soul that's trapped in a compassionate heart and a mind that is driven to use all his skills and tools. And that's very inspiring. So my brother, I say thank you with an open heart, open arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please unmute and give this young amazing round of applause. Give him a big hug.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Thank you very much for the
Wonderful
platform.
performance.
Always
Thank you very much
exceptional.
for all your kind words. I'm not going to take a sit and read all the beautiful comments that are there.
Yeah.
But before I go, I'd like to say, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this performance, if it inspired you to do something, please, I'm gonna share a link. Support the spaces that we are creating here in Sierra Leone. It's no longer just about me. It's about Alice. It's about everybody else who's putting in the energy to make sure that we have these open minds and we have these experiences. Please do support that, and we can make the world a better place. Peace.
You remind me of a quote. I can't remember who said it, but I think it's one of the best quotes I've heard. This gentleman said, "Success not shared is not success at all." So continue your good works, brother. And yeah, sit back and take in the praise and all the good words, and sit back and listen to the poets that came here today that wanted to support you with their words. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the brilliance that we just witnessed came from the heart and mind of a brilliant human being. Kapongo. Well done, brother. Well done. All right. I will remove the spotlight. I'm still vibing here. You can't see it on the camera. My gosh, I just got goddess bumps all over me right now. That was truly inspiring and uplifting. All right, we'll continue the show. Let's just take a second to shake this off. Not to get rid of it, but to be in it, to be grateful for it. We just witnessed magic, right? And I love the way he talks, because if one can do it, so can another. That's one thing about our humanity. If one person can do it, so can another. Not like he did, but your way. To have the courage to step up and take the mic and to allow yourself to flow. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So take it in. That's one thing that's going to be added into my gratitude later today when I go outside and talk to the universe towards the end of the night. That will go into my gratitude. So thank you again for that. So, all right, let's continue on, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know now, this is the part where the not ready for prime time poets get to do their thing. I posted the list of poets. I'll post it again. Poets, try to remember, the show runs late. I'm not making excuses, but just try to be a little bit cognitive of your time. As usual, I invite you to share with your heart. There's no theme. I welcome whatever it is that you want to offer. So, as tradition has it, I will call on my beautiful friend who started this whole madness by introducing me to these Zoom rooms. Alexandra, please kick us off.
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, Alexandra, are you speaking? We can't hear you.
Oh yeah, I'm just mumbling to myself. I
Okay.
just want to say that I was really surprised to hear that Spongo had lived his childhood as a recluse and sort of isolated in his own world with his own words. I was quite surprised and moved by that, because I was like that, but that's pretty obvious. Whereas Spongo looks really outgoing, so I really didn't expect him to say that. Okay, this is just a short poem because Flying 19 is still in the making. So this is an ode to my house. Within these old stone walls where are so many memories, where so many dreams have been created. Within these burnt, flooded walls, where I have lost, where I have gained so much. Within these protective, precious walls, where so many mistakes, where so many unfoldings have taken place. Within these strong, enduring walls, before which sea and sky stretch endlessly every day, I am so grateful. I guess that's the theme of gratitude for today.
Thank you so much. I like it. When will Flying Series 19 be ready?
I think it will be ready next month, but I don't know if anyone realizes how strenuous and how much energy and work it goes into combining the poetical inspiration with the philosophical meanings and the designs. It's just so much work for me, honestly.
Well, I know from just talking to you a couple of times during your creative process, so I know how much you pour into it, and then the research you do to ensure that it's not just poetic, but it's, I guess, philosophically aligned. So yeah, I appreciate it. So I appreciate whatever efforts you bring forth, because it's always timely and it's always on point. So I'm
And
always.
there's also the linguistic, because there's a lot of Greek words that go in, and so that's a lot of,
No, I appreciate it.
That's why I just made a few short poems.
That's okay. You have to explain to us, man. I appreciate whatever you offer. So I appreciate your constant support, my friend. So I'm grateful. Thank you for that. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Actually, I moved these two next poets up because Marianne Busmeter said that they had done a collaborative piece in honor of Sofongo's feature today. So I thought, instead of waiting till the end, let's just get them in right now. And you know, if this is an honor of our feature, then, you know, let's honor him properly and have the two of them kick it off. So I called to the stage two brilliant poets of their own, in their own rights, Marianne and Zomkhonto.
Remember to pause when
I'm open.
I got the uncle and the nephew confused now, but Marianne and Zomkhonto, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Raul. Congratulations to you, Spongo. When I think about this particular open mic, I always think family. And I had to invite your family to write with me today, and I'm so grateful that he did.
It is such an honor to have you as family, and to have you grace these stages of poetry is such a joy to witness. And so this is for you, because we are family. We are family. We are family. Interlocked until eternity through palms whose fingers are libraries for diviners to read. For even with sand in their eyes, they do not blink even once, soaking in our bloodline, one ancestral page at a time.
We are family, who first knew bristling thorn bushes and sweet flowing maples, divi trees that drive their shoulders into the wind, and soft palms that mark the clave, in time with salt-scented zephyrs from the sea.
We are an orchard replete with family ties, resplendent in their defiant petals, such that bees reward their graceful nature with honeycombs, pregnant with the sweetness of sunrise. And when the sun kisses us, we are dripping with the syrupy candy-coated light of our ancestors.
We are family, whose pens flow with the pride of the elephant, fox, deer, and dolphin, that our descendants may hold fast the rhythm and the rhyme, the meter and the measure of life-giving breath, Sirocco, Mistral, Fern, and Chinook. We are family united in the power of words shaped like haiku and ghazal, sonnet and villanelle, with hearts that never miss the call and response of the street.
We are a whirlwind in the center of our council of elders, which with every grain of sand it picks up as it swells, becomes a humongous sandstorm of prayer that answers itself as if a god to its winds, traveling at dangerous speed in our dreams. And we, when we awaken, our skin has been chiseled smooth with the whispers of yesterday, and we have become baptized by every inch of dust found in our forefathers' graves.
We are family, choosing and chosen to gather across tides and time and through every season. We have come today to greet you, son of another mother. We celebrate your voice in every one of us. We gather together at this poet's table, welcomed and welcoming.
Our family is home. Zomkhonto.
Wow, wow.
Lord. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
You guys have to record that.
Wow.
You guys
Wow.
have to record
That
that.
was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Marianne.
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Malume, ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Abonga
Ngiyabonga.
mina bayethe. Sitshele sabakwenu.
Tshela sabakwena mzilankata.
Mpangazini.
The tree blossoms with the wisdom and the tears of the ancestors. That's what I wrote down as you guys were doing that. And I just love the theme of family. And yeah, you guys must record that. That was a brilliant collaboration. Well
Thank
done,
you.
both of you. But then again, are we surprised? Were we expecting anything different? Really? No.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I moved you guys up and follow my instincts and said, let's just get this. And I love listening to when you and Sofango speak in your language, and I love the fact that you do some of your poetry in your mother tongue. And so I always invite poets, do not be afraid if English is not your first language. Do not be afraid when you're reciting your poem, even if it is English, in English. Infuse your mother tongue in your poetry. Doesn't matter if we understand it. I don't care. I want to hear it. Because as poets, I think we pick up on tone and references and the feel of it. I remember not too long ago listening to a poet that recited a piece in Spanish. I didn't understand a word, but I got a feel for what he was presenting. And it's just beautiful to hear. So, anyway, thank you guys. Way to go. Way to go. Way to get this show going. All right. From brilliance to brilliance. She's rocking it down in Jamaica. But I'm glad that she's back and she's here again. So let's give it up for Jennifer. You have the mic, my friend.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to do 3 short poems. And let us start with the first one, a little prayer. Of prayer. Thank God you lifted me is the title. Thank God I gave you $1. I gave you a scholarship. In later years, insolvency, bad times hit my company. A grown man, face unknown to me, appeared out of nowhere suddenly, me out of my misery. Thank God, thank God, thank God. The poem is titled, Man, Is That All? Man, you seduce woman, and a child in her womb. She lovingly allows it to go birth to a new life, her loving present to you. You men send it away to fight in wars, ridding it of its life. Present her, its corpse in a coffin, shipped home engulfed in a flag. You send her sons and daughters related, abandoned veterans, come homeless, jobless. And That all women are good for? Giving birth to your statistic. Or final poem is titled simply No. No, 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 no. Said no. No is a no. It means I don't want you to say or do what I don't want to hear or feel. It means I don't want you to touch me, take me where I don't wish to be. No means I don't want, I don't have, I don't like, desire something, someone. No is not a sly, disguised synonym used by girls, women, secretly expecting men to believe they really mean yes. Allowing them forcibly touch, kiss, caress, undress her without redress. You not accepting no would make her heart full of dread, her body, mind go motionless. Her no means no. It's not a trigger to increase your erectile ego, nor cause you. Simply means stop. Let your fingers drop, cut it out, get lost. Don't do that. Meet your evil thoughts, using force, take her as your source of carnal pleasure, while you abuse her privilege to decide whom she may allow reap physical benefits. Your greedy attitude proves you are unfit to touch any part of her skin. Don't commit such a grave sin. Females no simply means no. It's not a secret code for a hidden yes agenda. That you gotta remember. So her body, she'll never surrender. A vicious male wanting to touch her. A female no only means don't do what she, God, bid you not.
No means no.
Woo!
Powerful writing, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Powerful words. Right? All three good, but that last was very powerful. And it's right. No means no.
Thank you.
I truly believe, and I don't say this with any disrespect to any woman, but a man's greatest job, our job, is to protect that which matters most, which is woman, the giver of life. A woman says no, stand up and say, got it. So it's a good reminder, Jennifer. Powerful reminder. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right. From brilliance to brilliance. Richard, the mic is yours, my brother.
Oh, thank you. I just have 3 to do. I've changed my order because of things I've heard as I always do. This is one I meant to do anyway, and it's a lesson learnt. As a child, I did what I was told. Back then, you did. But when I was 10, I was watching TV together with my family. As you did back then, tennis was on, Wimbledon. My mum liked Maria Bueno. She said she was elegant, pretty, had class. A match was starting, women's tennis. On walked a short woman, not glamorous, not wearing lace like Maria Bueno. She walked on determinedly, defiantly, wearing colour. Only a wristband or something like that. A first at Wimbledon. Rosie Casals. It caused a fuss, shock, horror. She was sent off to change. She was timed. Something stirred in me. I learned I could disobey. I could protest. Did not have to accept. So thank you, Rosie Casals. That was just it was a really profound moment for me. And I remember I was only about 11 or 12. Now, I've had a couple of wonderful, amazing people collaborate with me and record my poem. Genevieve Ray's done one. And Swongo has done an amazing film to my George Stinney poem, which is on YouTube. And Finn Hall has recorded two. And this is one of the two that Finn's recorded. And it's also been made into a song by an amazing singer-songwriter. And it's called Modern Slavery. William Wilberforce from Hull fought slavery as did many others. He thought and they thought the fight was won, as it should be, but human greed and desire for power and control was not ended, not eradicated. So a different form of slavery was born into the modern world, not based on race, but based on profit, from the prostitutes of Turin, forced to work having fled from Africa in search of a better life, to the cockle workers of Morecambe Bay, whose deaths highlighted the tragedies of modern slavery. Gender, debt, childhood, all can be exploited by the evil used for control and profit. Refugee or immigrant status too, as many are forced to work in domestic servitude, forced marriage too. These iniquitous practices continue. They thrive disgracing humanity. Hard work and vigilance, resistance, rescue and complaint against this power and greed is the way, I hope, to stop this dreadful practice. And I was on a social workers convention in Turin, and I went to, it was called the Prostitute Reclamation Centre, and these amazing women went out and challenged the pimps and rescued these poor women who had no passport, or if they'd had a passport, it had been taken away from them. You know, they were being used. It was just amazing. One of the most staggering things I've ever seen was an elderly woman on two crutches challenging these pimps and being like the broken record and beating them down. And this is one I thought was appropriate to do today, having listened to Swongo. And it's called Slavery Shock. There is a language warning. The uber rich have always remained rich and they profit from misery, and life is not fair, it never will be. I thought I knew about slavery, how vile, how evil, and one of the heroes that caused the abolition of this vile practice was Hull's William Wilberforce. Now I assumed the slave owners, those vile beings who do not deserve to be thought of as human, were castigated and punished. But recently I discovered they were compensated, fucking compensated for the loss of their slaves. No money paid to the slaves. And we, you and me, paid off a British government loan with our taxes until 2015. As a poet, it's hard to be speechless with shock and disgust, but I fucking am now. We paid these vile bastards and their descendants millions in compensation. I am ashamed to be called human. I couldn't believe when in the British press, when the slavery compensation debts were paid off in 2015, it was written about, and it had never occurred to me that that was the case. So anyway,
Thank you.
It got me a bit annoyed, as you will gather. Yes.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you. And I tell my poet friends and everyone, I know we lose our minds about the slavery that happened hundreds of years ago. It's going on today. And this technology that we use is a benefactor to it. So if we really want to do something about slavery, let's fight for it today, because I think it's actually more egregious than it was in the past, because much of it is hidden in front of us, and
yes,
we're still benefiting from it.
It was organized and openly shown in the past. It was recognized. It was a thing.
I'm hoping people start to realize
now it's just there.
It's well, and we want to blame systems for things. Look, I don't know how we're ever going to do this, but as long
Turn on the phone.
people have free will, we have to accept that some people are going to use good things and do bad things with it. Doesn't make it right, but those with
But
power
we still have to talk about it.
we have to talk about it and we have to fight to change it, because those with power are always going to take advantage of those without power. That's been a consistent on this planet. But anyway, I think you writing about it and doing your thing to highlight it is very important. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for that voice. And yeah, like I said, continue to speak until you can't anymore. All right. From brilliant, we're going to stay across the pond for right now. Another brilliant poet, Ashley, looking all fine in red today. The mic is yours.
I know. Just so you know, I'm not doing sport poetry. It's just that it's the weekend, so there's sport on. So I've got to wear my uniform, as I like to call it, so ignore the uniform. But yeah, enjoy the bright colours. I've got a couple for you today, completely different pieces, because I like to be eclectic where I can. And we're gonna start with one that, because it's National Poetry Month, but it's also National Autism Awareness Month, so which is something that I have myself, and I'm guessing there's a few in this room as well that are neurodivergent. So this is for all of them, and for those that aren't as well, because the more that we understand about each other, the more we can help one another and make things accessible for each other, isn't it? So, and this is called Stimulation is a Paradox. So it's about the hyperactiveness side of it, which I struggle with. I'm an extroverted introvert, a walking contradiction. Stimulation irritates, but stillness drives me crazy. I cower in the corner, megaphone at my mouth. Wonder why y'all pay me mind. This is meant to keep me quiet. Enthusiastic hypertongue makes you think I'm happy, but it's mechanical, tyrannical, controls my every move. I bounce around, limbs never stop. I'll twitch if I keep still. I feel my brain vibrate and spark. It doesn't know how to sleep. I'm catching flies you cannot see, like Miyagi, like a trance. My stimming helps destimulate my overloaded brain. They call it a disorder, a phrase so fucking apt. This busy, whirring, non-stop brain is driving me up the wall. I can think of 30 random things compared to your one focus. My multitasking knows no bounds, one thing at a time. Sounds strange. My peripheral vision could rival Messi's, and I have the nose of a dog, but I no longer have the energy, so I let my mind ooze out. This skull of mine tries to contain a brain that never lets up. I feel it pressing, pulsing through my weary cranium. So you see, it's rather difficult to focus my attention. I admit I have a deficit. This head of mine is hyper. I'm an extroverted introvert, a walking contradiction. Stimulation irritates, but stillness drives me crazy. There we go. And then my other one is like on the opposite scale. It's kind of like the kinds of things that actually do make me feel calm, which is nature and fantasy. So it's kind of an homage to the things that make me feel calm, which is why I think it'll go nicely. And it's called Beauty in the Beast. Mosquitoes buzz and pierce our flesh, hungry. Fire ants sting and bite. We're an army's picnic for veteran expats. We, their feast, can merely scratch the flaming rash and swollen skin. Transported from the pain, the incessant itching, swim. Gentle backstrokes in the ocean, eyes shut. Bright sunlight cuts through eyelids, too thin to hide our imagination. Where the hawk soars over untold stories of foot soldier fairies, carnivorous mermaids, cowering trolls, and sentient, spicy saffron. The water sparkles, glitters as we drift on our back, ears filled with muffled, waterlogged silence. Skin soothed, let us stroll along our beach, sandy shore at the mouth of our cave. microlives molded like clay into this haven of limestone, sun-bleached and salt water soaked. The rocks glisten as Poseidon's roar thrashes waves, a hypnotic shower of fearsome nature. Lean back, nestle into the cold, jagged rock, embrace the sharp solidity. Take a shell, a conch, raise it to your freshly soothed ears and listen to the purr of the dragon as he sleeps a slumber so deep he will twitch taloned claws, lip trembling over deadly teeth, tantalizing you into stroking his iridescent blue scales. As you feel as though we can rest, enveloped by his sinuous serpentine reptile. There you go. Thank you.
Dr. Anthony, if you're looking for another powerful voice to interview on your show, talk to Ash.
Oh, that's so kind of you all. Thank you. Always up for interviews as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers for
well,
that.
I just love your poetry. You have a brilliant voice. It's not just the, I think I told you this last time, it's not just the words, it's the performance, but there's an insight. You know, this younger generation, and that first piece about autism, it's so important. The more we know of each other, it's one of the reasons I like to do the interview and for us to maybe get to know each other beyond just poetry. The more we know of each other, the greater chances we have of truly understanding each other and embracing each other. I truly am not one of these people believe we're different. I believe we actually have way more in common. We've just been conditioned to believe we are so different. And the more we hear our stories and the more we share of the things that we battle every day, we start hearing ourselves in each other's stories. So that's what I love about the way you present yourself. And you do it with such a power and so inviting in the way you do it. So I'm looking forward to featuring you very soon. You're a powerful voice as well. Well done. Thank you, Ash.
And I'm excited about featuring for you. Thank you. You humble me with your sweet words.
And I apologize for not being at your last show. I had the intention of being there and a family situation come up. That's why I couldn't attend. So
no sorries are ever needed, because we understand lives happen. We have a lot of disabled poets. There could be a million different reasons, and they're none of my business. Just I couldn't make it is absolutely understandable as far as we're concerned. Probably the same as yourself, Raul. We get it, don't we? We understand.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, darling.
All right. This is why I keep saying from brilliance to brilliance, because I think you're all brilliant in your own right. And speaking of another powerful voice, we're coming back across in the North American continent, going west, out west to Oakland, from his desk to our ears right now, Dee Allen.
Good morning. Good morning, Inspired Poetry Corner. It's been 7 months since I last set foot in here. And you were about to say something wrong.
No, I wasn't. I was just actually going to say your name again, but then you spoke. So go right ahead, brother.
All right. I'm going to do 2 poems for 5 minutes. Hold up. Let me see if I can punch up what I'm going to perform today. Here we go. The first poem is new. This one is called The Candy Lady. 1980, age 12. She had anything the neighborhood kids' sweet tooths craved. Snickers, Milky Ways, M&Ms, Twizzlers, licorice, Jawbreakers, Bubble Yum, Kit Kats, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, a new candy bar called Twix. Around Christmas shopping season, peppermint sticks, Jolly Ranchers, lemon heads. The very things that made young mouths sing, she kept stacked and stocked in her colored boxes. In colored boxes on her shelves, ours for the asking, between 25 cents and $2 American. The candy lady, kind, grandmotherly black neighbor, sweeter than the treats she sold from her home, made herself a good living, ruining kids' appetites before dinner. Any one of us on the block, including my cousins and me, could venture at a guess Social Security payments from the government didn't mean the old woman around the corner, didn't give the old woman around the corner enough to live on monthly. Nothing wrong with having a side hustle that kept children happy and fed, full of sugar. And that first poem was a new one called The Candy Lady. That was the best part about being 12 years old, being able to go around the corner to this elderly woman's house and be able to get all the hard candy and candy bars that my young body could stand. My cousin Levette got me hip to the Candy Lady and what she was all about. And my last poem is several months old, but it's new to most of y'all. So I'm going to use the share screen feature one more time. And this last poem is started out as a online writing workshop creation. This one is called Borrowed from Shadows. There's no getting my head to fully grasp the negative publicity focused on obsidian, onyx, sable, murk, dark, ebony, the color black. Is black really an evil shade? Is it really gloomy and depressing, symbolic of death? Not to me. Orange brings on the blues, intimidation, fear of confinement, control of movement. Anybody who spent any time inside of a jail cell wouldn't argue with me. When I slip into a comfortable ensemble with the color heavily borrowed from shadows, jacket, shirt, face mask, pants, shoes or boots, scarf, gloves, wool hat on colder days, I feel clean, smooth, sexy, sophisticated, elegant, powerful, free in my own skin. Under an outfit, in a color, reviled by a world safe in its flaming paranoia, is a good man. And that last poem was called Borrowed from Shadows for English queer poet Ashley Edge. From this mic to your ears, I'm Dee Allen. Thanks for listening. Happy North American Poetry Month.
Brother D, so good to hear your voice. I love that title, Borrowed from Shadows. That's brilliant. That's, to me, it's one of the most personable pieces that you've really poured yourself into, that last piece. And when I was growing up in Brooklyn, we had one of my friends' moms was like that. Every time you go to her house, she always had all kinds of candy that, yeah.
Nice.
Parents didn't like her because, yeah, we came home with our dinners always ruined because we were stuffed on candy, but we didn't care. It was brilliant. So I loved it. That just took me back, that first piece. So thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. Good to have you here. And then I know it's been 7 months, but I'm sure we'll be back again. Hopefully it won't be such a long period, but thank you for being here. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, we have a new poet to the Inspired Poetry Corner. His name is also Dee. He's with our feature right now, so I will ask young Dee to take the mic and share with us, brother. Welcome to the Inspired Poetry Corner.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dee from Sierra Leone, West Africa. And this poem is called I Am Different. It's a love poem, so yeah. 1. Just so you know, I am not here to debate the fact that you've had relationships that started with love of my life, baby boo, daddy to my unborn children, and after a month or so, the experience were like, all men are dogs, no boyfriends, no problem. Listen, no capping. I am a man of my words. I can't say one and mean two. Let me give you a better experience when it comes to love. Like, I want you to know and accept the fact that I love you, even without using the words, I love you. The love of my life cannot be defined by words, and not especially 3. I want to share my fantasies with you. A chill at the coast, vacation in December, lovely lies to remember, an open field, grass green, moonlight, counting stars late at night till 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4. Let me be the right man for you. Make histories with you. For I want to be the guy that will deny a free pass to heaven, that is if you ain't coming with me. I would make my way there, pray with you, and teach you how to be with me. See, I am mad at life for meeting you this late, for I get to dine with some daughters of Delilah, not 1, but 5. Your beauty counts, but it will be senseless to tell an angel how good she looks. I want to give you that eye to eye love, heart to heart love. We will grow so deep like roots. I will be seen in you and you in me, together tied like knots. The vows have been said ever since I was born. 6. Oh, no, sorry, sit. Close your eyes. Tell me what you see. And now that is my life without you. You shine so beautifully that my vision go boom every time I set my eyes on you. From a distance, I imagine having you in a white gown, a step at a time. As you walk towards me, I can overhear the sound of our unborn babies kicking beneath your belly. See, I normally spend the rest of my working days thinking about you, like, are you okay? Have you eaten? Is there anything that you need that I don't know about? That is why I am always early before my off time 7. See, I stopped eating meat, but I'm addicted to your flesh. She is perfect. You are the life of my life. I can stop my nose from functioning for hours with you on site. For you are a reason I am alive, and my last name is super proud, for he is going to make you a wife and a black mother of 8. You see these muscles? They might be small, but I'm ready to take on this world for you. Walk up in heaven, bring the sun down just so he will take a selfie with you. Be a stuntman to your fears, walk in your shadow. Baby, I'm ready to be your confidence. Paint your face in every cloud, your reflection in every sun rays. Go to church and pray for you, and not only on Sundays. You know you are mine. That is why my heart has always been for you ever since we were 9. Take my hand in your hands. Let's walk this path together. For you are the most beautiful piece I have ever designed, and it is going to be like forever. For I love to love that I love you, and from this day henceforth, the new me is now you. Thank you. Thank you. Boy. Thank you.
Oh, the mic is on. I'm just stunned in silence. That's all.
That's the end of
I felt like I just listened to your wedding vows. That's your wedding vows. When you get married, when you find that, what's that? I wrote down, I can't even read my writing anymore. But how do you tell how do you tell an angel how beautiful? You can't tell an angel how beautiful she is. You had some I can't even read my writing, but to me, I just listened to your wedding vows.
Yeah, you can say that.
When you get married and they ask to exchange vows, do that poem. And ladies,
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we keep hearing there aren't any good men anymore. That's a lie. There's a lot of good men out there. There's tons of good men. And you just witnessed one. That's brilliant, brother. I love when a new voice shows up
Thank you.
stuns you into silence. That was brilliant. Thank you, Dee. Thank you for honoring me.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed that. I hope you come again. And
for sure.
And I hope you do some of the other. There's a lot of great poetic shows in the Zoom world. I hope your voice becomes a popular one. Love to hear more of your stuff.
Okay.
Love to hear more.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, from brilliance to brilliance. This next poet. Might be the first time I'm introducing him as a poet. Is a good friend of mine, my partner in crime. We're doing a lot of different things together, and I invited him to come. He came once before, but I invited him to come back because I think maybe now he's embracing the fact that he does have a poetic flair. I think he writes beautifully. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and say, Gene, the mic is yours, brother.
Hey, Raul, thanks for the invite, and thank you, everybody. I've got two short pieces of writing, and I'll read. The first one's called Shame's Cry. Shame chases me around the bend, catching me in its grasp time and time again, handing me a shovel with a grin and lies on his lips. If you were better, they would love you. If you were better, they would see you. With each whisper, I dig a hole I called my life. They'll never know you'll be safe down here, so convincing I believed it was right. What I do cannot see the light. Who am I without shame's pit? Bearing all the I haves, I ams, and I dids. Trapped in the lie, echoing from the walls of this place, I tell myself, it's all right. I can dig out of this at any time. Steeped in shame's grasp, lost in my fight. Shame holds me ever so tight, the only acknowledgement I feel as it whispers, I've got you. You are all right. Shame doesn't want me to see something bright, but hope is above us, shining its light. Shame hates to be seen for what it truly is. To be seen as its weakness, the truth begins to spill through it. It shrieks as the light opens my eyes, screaming, no, don't wake. You won't be safe. Hope reaches down and lifts us out of this place. Burn as this might, I am reminded that this is my life, and I take it back without a fight, as shame and I step towards the light. Thanks, everyone. The last one is called More Than. More than a chase to never-ending goals. More than the I haves, I ams, and the I was. More than what my story tells me to believe. More than how I hear the world speak to and through me. More than enough as it is, where it is, and how it is. More than is not the reflection of what I'm not. More than is an invitation to growth and to deeply explore. More than isn't the tool of shame, but a request from the soul to be heard, felt, and understood. More than is a gift of clarity beyond plain reach and the trust in the rhythm and the energy that I seek. More than is to be held just right. Those are my two pieces. Thank you for the stage, Ro.
Neil, we have another corporate, ex-corporate guy that did a lot of writing in his capacity in the business world. And it's through our endeavors over the last few years, I've really got to see his writing and understand it. So I read these two poems when you emailed them to me, and it's so different listening to you recite. That first piece about shame, that's just brilliant. Right? I saw a lot of heads nodding in agreement. So I hope you take this up and continue to write, because you got a poetic heart, my friend. And you have a beautiful way of capturing words and putting them together that people could relate to. So, and I'm not just saying that because I love you and I know you, because it's just the truth. So I hope you continue this and continue to recite. It's one thing to write it, but then to recite it, to perform it, it's another thing. So thank you for that. Thank you for honoring us today.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you.
Most welcome. Much love to you. From brilliance to brilliance. This woman needs no introduction. She's had I think her last successful feature was at David's Spoken Word Online, and that was brilliant. I'm always glad when she shows up. So Laura, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Raul. It's wonderful to be here. I'm overwhelmed, überwältigt. I don't know how many words. It's incredible. Svongo's performance and all this brilliant work. So I'll try to contribute something here. This is a sestina. Inspired by a phrase my husband once said to me, the ravens are back. So, and I believe Dee Allen likes this piece, so I will dedicate it to him. The ravens are back. The ravens are back, much closer, talking constantly to the huge owl who perches on the post by the road. No one knows where he lives, he won't say, as he sits ice still and stares backward through the moon of the morning that Floyd the rabbit scorned to salute on his way from blueberry patch to forest, thumping his remarks that patch over his shortcomings and short temper that constantly run Wes Weasel down through the scorned weeds by the barn and drag him on down the rocky road to a meeting with Cassandra the snake, queen of the moon, who says she has grown old hearing what these boys say. You rabbits and weasels ought to stay out of offices and not say what's on your minds in this country. There's no room for a patch of lawsuits like this. And I'd rather move to the moon than to hear the bickering. And those ravens constantly chattering and the owls sitting still down that there road ain't helping no how. And where is Libella? Has she scorned us here in these hills of slanted hopes? Where is that moon of dragonflies, that elegant soar about, who will say what she wants, hovers, reversing, forwarding above the road of our hearts, playing gaily, humming quietly in the patch of time that begins evening. Her flight a song that constantly calls to the bats of night as they dance to the moon under the Milky Way. While I, queen of my moon, am left to sort the salt from the wheat, from the chaff, scorned by those who spend their hours flittering and constantly dancing to the sway of the lighter beams of life, and say nothing to those who cause consternation. Requiring a patch of decency and calling all to come together on the road to recovery, a road that is long and brambly and bumpy, a road that leads to beatings and blood and trumpets, to call the moon of chance, of synchronicity, that orchid's song, that gentian patch of sound that proclaims a name of good that is scorned by the suspicious populace, whose indecision will say no to what the ravens call the confusion of constantly complaining about the road of life gone awry, that constantly speaks to us wildly in moonbeams of pale meaning, to say that we are meant to learn in patches, not to grade the path we scorned. Thank you.
You just know when you're listening to a master storyteller. You do.
Thank you.
I caught this, Genevieve said polished, and that is bang on. Bang on. Your stories, the imagery from your words, and then how you present it. Yeah, you're one of those people I could listen to for hours. I love the way you craft a story. You're brilliant.
Thank you so much.
So enjoy listening to you. Totally enjoy listening. Always a treat when you show up. Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Really appreciate you. And yeah, the imagery. You almost leave me breathless. I love it. Your husband's a lucky man if he gets to listen to you tell stories all the time. So Or maybe you should get him to write a story about living with a storyteller. Well done, well done, well done. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Well, this is a treat because we have the other half of the dynamic hosting duo from Beehive. So if Clive is the queen, does this make Nik the king? I'm not sure, but he'll tell us himself. Anyway, guys, put it up for Nik. So good to have you here, brother.
Thank you so much, Raul. And it's been an absolute honour to be here because the standard poetry has been absolutely off the scale. So thank you to all the poets so far, and I'm looking forward to hearing those yet to come. I've brought two poems along. This first one, I hate this poem. I hate that I had to write it. I hate its subject matter. I hate that it was relevant when I wrote it, and I hate that it's still relevant now. This is for every refugee that's fleeing fear, war, poverty, oppression, for whatever reason. They're running, they're scared, and the rest of the world doesn't seem to give a shit. I meet you where waves end, where screams fade beneath the surf, where sorry does not count and a million Facebook shares don't save. I meet you where dreams die swept out with the tide, in the space between ignorance and sympathy, where cold shoulders shrug away empathy and hard-hearted politicians lie. I meet you where bigotry fights for ever-bleeding hearts, where political wrongs clash with human rights, where media agendas dilute the truth with right-wing lies, and where promises deferred drown out desperate cries. I meet you where futures fade and the sun sets forever, where the time is always too late, where humanity fails and bodies float face down in black waters sailed only by the reaper's dark boat. I meet you where waves end, where tears begin. And follow one that's a little bit somber. I thought I'd do something a little bit more upbeat. I used to be a Greyhound commentator, and despite repeated requests, they wouldn't let me do the commentaries in the form of little poems. So I came home one evening and thought I'd turn it on its head and do a poem in the form of a Greyhound commentary. This is called The Race of His Life. Good evening, everyone. There's now 1 minute's betting remaining until the race of his life. The hare is running, the hare's approaching the traps, and snap! The hare is caught in a trap just like Elvis Presley. Now, to the race. And they're off. It's bewildered Nik making all the running as they head towards the first bend of many. This youngster is making ground against potty training, preschool infancy, and an introduction into the basics of capitalism through playground economics. A little bumping for masturbation, self-loathing, and puberty as they go through the second bend, but it's bewildered Nik still tight on the rails as they go onto the back straight, leading my length from immaturity with insecurity, bad decisions, unemployment, and an unsuitable girlfriend all gaining on him. Bewildered Nik still leading by some good head from a girl he met at a nightclub and a kicking from her boyfriend half an hour later, closely followed by sympathy, a series of dates, cohabitation, and an unexpected wedding. So they go into the third bend. It's bewildered Nik losing ground now to 2 kids, a mortgage, depression, disaffection with his job, and a nagging fear of failure. With Nik still leading by a neck from redundancy, with midlife crisis making a move, and depression still in and out of the back as they come into the fourth and final bend. Delays falling away to be passed by. You're an old bastard now. Nostalgia, confusion, and minor regrets also coming into running as they race down the home straight towards the finish. Bewildered Nik from grandchildren with not enough exercise, too many fags. Both your parents died from cancer, you fucking idiot. As they race towards the line, retirement, boredom, and levels for release, now fighting for position with mild incontinence and unusual smells. Bewildered Nik's clinging on to lead with death close behind as they race the last couple of metres towards the line. It's bewildered Nik from death. Bewildered Nik from death. And it's bewildered Nik and death, neck and neck as they cross the line. Photo finish. Photo finish there between bewildered Nik and death. And we have the result of the photo. Winner is wins by 1 length. Death always wins by exactly 1 length. Thank you.
Okay. The dynamic duo makes sense now. You're just as fucking crazy as he is. This is why I love when we do the interview, because I don't think I've ever met anyone that has said they were a Greyhound announcer. And you did it so well. Oh my gosh, brother, that was brilliant. Just brilliant.
Thank you.
Oh man. The crazy runs really well between the two of you. No wonder you're a dynamic duo. That was brilliant. Well done. And I say that with all the love because I respect you and Clive so much. And especially what you do with your shows. So, more power to you. But it's always good to hear you guys recite into that creative playfulness. That was just I'm with Genevieve. I was busted. I fell back a couple of times laughing my butt off so much. It was just brilliant, but so poignant, so truth. That's what I love about poetry and being able to blend the poetry and the humor to tell a compelling story. Well done, Nik. Well done. Well done. This is why I keep saying from brilliance to brilliance, because you're all brilliant in itself. And this next poet coming up from India is a young woman I met not too long ago. She came to the open mic home, Mr. Hart. I think this is your first time here, but anyway, brilliant poet as well, brilliant voice. Somdatta, the mic is yours. Please share with us.
My salutations to everyone present here, and my love to all of you. Today, I developed a little bit of courage to recite this poem, whose title is Who Am I? Please do not take it in any negativity or any kind of discouragement. Just, it is an emotion which sprouted out of this expression. It is my own experience, own life's journey, which I have related here. The title is Who Am I? Like a phoenix, I rose up from the flames of depravity and deprivation, crushed each time by several adversities, and to stand against the evil conflagration. Life taught me several lessons when I was suppressed by the evil dictators. Writing consoled me, and painting comforted and raised my confidence. As a strong personality, I learned to forbear the hindrances and the obstacles. No one could deter me to follow the path of righteousness. Temptations didn't demotivate me to find success through honest means. In the mirror, I could view myself. Mirror, mirror, who am I in the midst of so many turmoils? The mirror replied, "You're strong and you're divine. You seem to enchant and enthrall everyone. You interact with a vivacious chime. Mirror, mirror, what is my strength in the pool of wisdom? You generate power with your pen. You generate power with your humor and love. You seem to be the worshipper of beauty through brains. One who embraces you would dive into your purity in abundance. I was engulfed with an euphoria at large. I could identify my true person after a short while. I am the speed and the meaning of love. I am significant comfort from the esteemed affection that people crave in a forlorn. I am an assuagement and strong support to one who needs me. I can be the storm who hails in a chase to hit the land in a cessation. Within me, all may find a burning volcano who needs to erupt. After forbearing the tormentations of the societal oppressions, an anvil of peace, I am the dove who in her tranquil deference attempts to persuade others for a friendly tie. As a friend, I am the desire who wants to fly high. As a fragrance, I am the perfume who motivates those who are humiliated or mourn someone's death. To the children, I sing like a nightingale. To the old, I ring the bell like a temple. I am the aspiration and the divine spirit to raise those who are affected in an ignominy, to be their strength and primary comfort, to stabilize their strength and search for their confidence. I can explode with emotions through my pen. I can help one who needs a friend. I am the fire through which the rebellious minds enthuse power. I am the noble heart who inspires others to uplift their divine spirit to change the world into a center of peace, lovers' paradise. That might is just in our pious minds. That pen and hidden love cannot segregate humanity to survive and unite. I am a teacher who teaches the moral instincts to transit into a world of friendship and love the abandoned and rest their spirits. That is the first poem. The second one is about my role model. Anyone of you, if you're acquainted with Sarojini Naidu, she was a famous Indian poetess and a strong personality to become a legend in a way in herself. To me, she is a legend. So I have related an ode to her through my next poem. The title I've given is The Nightingale Impacted My Simple Life. With an intelligible verbiage in a verisimilitude, as I speed, dash, and verb to uplift, the vignette of venerable Nightingale of India in a solitude. To me, protrusion of a bold and charismatic persona like her can easily influence others' life and wend in a zeal. Sarojini Naidu is my role model so far, whose zest for freedom struggle appealed to me. As an Indian political activist and a powerful poetess, a proponent of civil rights, women's emancipation, and with imperialistic ideas, she was an important figure in India's struggle for independence. The first woman president of the Indian National Congress impacted my ideologies and sorted the emotions to be an aspiring poetess. As a feminist, she continues to mesmerize my perceptions. As a firm believer of satyagraha, she deliberately campaigned for Indian independence with a vehemence. Her fearlessness featured in a remarkable passion for writing. The bangle sellers, Coromandel fishes, in the bazaars of Hyderabad and ecstasy captured my heart and were so inspiring. Standing united for the racial discrimination in a vehement protest, she reprimanded the course of action and activities. She will be remembered for being the founder of a modern secular nation. Her expressions of a fearless and courageous personality motivated me to fight alone for my rights with dignity. Whenever I read her poems in a seclusion, a benediction seemed to ignite my instinct with vivacity and beatitude in an effusion. Unparalleled was her charisma and distinguished personality. I was completely submerged in the ocean of her strong writing abilities. Such vehement and intense was her rebel, where she strongly emboldened the spirits of the freedom struggle. In a deluge, I persistently chased her with an impassion. When I questioned the mirror guided me to acknowledge and pacify the belief with a devotion. It's with a strong conviction that I realize as a role model, I was searching such a good humanitarian to uplift a realm and combat the racial discrimination. As a true patriot and administrator, she was an inspiration to millions of patriots as a cheerleader. As I rode in a chariot of thoughts with my reservation of respect, I became her true worshipper of poems and sacrifices. Hark the herald, the poetess impacts my simple life. The nightingale was a restorer of peace, so symbolic of a peace paradise. Thank you. Thank you, Ayan, for giving me this platform. Thank you all for listening to me.
We're the ones that are grateful. I think this is the third time now I've heard you recite, and you're just getting more and more comfortable and better. And that first piece, don't ever apologize for ever talking about yourself in a positive way. Ever. You have enough people that want to take a shot at you. So when you have a chance, speak. It's not false pride to speak highly of oneself. If you're going to do it with others, do it with yourself as well. And be humble about it. And that's one thing I love about you. You're humbled about it. So excuse me, I think you're a powerful, powerful voice. I say that a lot, but I so enjoy our interactions and the ones and the chats that we're having. And yeah, you're a beautiful spirit.
It's my pleasure, my ultimate privilege to be among such luminaries present here, to present an expression which I cherish always. And maybe in the past, it has been hidden inside me. It has sprouted. It has protruded.
Yeah, it came at the right time. You're ready for it. You can tell. And you know, that first piece, you know, you can't tell because you're busy reciting and reading, but you know, a number of people were doing something and they kind of stopped because they've never heard your voice before, and you know, they really paid attention. So your writing is superb, but your delivery, and yeah, I'm looking forward to our further future interactions because you're a powerful voice. Really enjoy listening to you and your words. So thank you for blessing us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
I'm
right.
so delighted.
Oh, you're most welcome. From brilliance to brilliance. This man really, well, not really, needs no introduction. I just simply say he's the sage of our time. Lantern Carrier.
Thank you, my brother. Lamentations of light. I weep for the living, the corporate heart too covered in the snow of avarice to hear the myriad wails of souls crying in the wilderness for justice. The lobbyists, those trading in arms and natural resources in whose dollars of blood lies the destructive volcano. I weep for the naysayers, those that manufacture merciless flares, lighting up the sky so powerfully that they invoke a judicial response from Mother Gaia. The truth benders, the interest groups seemingly dead, kept alive in the dark clutches of ignorance. For love is merciful, kind, and compassionate, and those who portray loving deeds in life will be merited in the afterlife. The living dead, lost in the forest of shadows, will awake in the traveler's lodge of sorrow. For karma works with cosmic law, balancing the pendulum. On this ceaseless wheel of eternal time, we come, dance with love like a heavenly actor, then we leave. Our blueprints may include numerous gifts and talents, many virtues and creative geniuses still waiting to unfold. Yet in this mystery, sometimes difficult to comprehend, the master calls and we must go, however unpleasant the circumstances. Who can claim to know the ways of paradise? Love uses us in its own inscrutable ways for transformation. Although we may grieve our dear ones gone, they are neither dead nor sleeping. On the Elysian wheel of time they travel to the soul's sacred bliss of an illustrious realm within. No farewell, for if you listen closely, you will hear their voices in the song-bearers' melodies and the bouquets of flowers paying homage to the various legacies. The moon and stars will shine like we do with family and friends, even as loved ones welcome them in the golden shows of the unknowable. Let us listen to the hummingbirds as they recite psalms for their contributions, say how amiable they were. The swans will waltz to their poison charisma, for their energies affected many, their vibrancy nothing but a conduit expressing itself in this earth arena. Let the fragrant jasmines rejoice, sunflowers unfurl to our grieving, carrying our tears to the New Jerusalem. For flowers too have their stories to tell, even as those who listen to children playing stepped into the naivety and cheerfulness. Do not mourn, for we are all instruments of light, and will joyfully awake in our regal chambers when our turn arrives, a boon from the Master's blessings. Let us show kindness to others, loving them by being a benchmark for goodness and benevolence. Listen while the bugles blow and the trumpets call, and know that in time, dear ones shedding tears will be comforted. Dance with shooting stars, carry the glories of love to the portals of paradise. Give praise and adulation for the majestic grandeur of heaven. Although we may evoke their soulfulness and charm with poignant funeral songs and speeches, lament the loss of sons and daughters, the beloved will bring grace and mercy to their hearts, born out of a spirit of grief and fortitude, loving prayers and concern. No farewell, for even as the sun sets only to rise again at daybreak, even as the luminosity of moonbeams glisten in the darkness, and the nightingales sing upon another virgin morn, so too they have ascended, chanting Hallelujah to our Lord. And in the breath of the breeze, we will feel the spirit, for the wind has carried the joys and sorrows, the playful yesterdays and the exaltations of tomorrows, to place them all at the feet of our effulgent majesty. And now the spirit is sanctified, minstrels play joyfully on harps, as cherubims and seraphims chant the glories of the harmonies. Heaven smiles, gleaming with luster, as they arrive at the gates of serenity and supernal beauty. Steal away, steal away, steal away to freedom. Steal away now, steal away home to freedom. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Takes a lit candle to light another candle. You are that lit candle, my friend. You are that candle, my friend. Every time I hear you in that piece, I feel like, it when I say, I love the Inspired Poetry Corner, it's our kind of Sunday kind of love. And you give us that sense of reverence, that sense of wholeness, that sense of hope through these words that you craft so beautifully. The years of writing have definitely, you've definitely honored the craft of writing. I know from listening to your feature on that show, you've been writing for a long time and it shows, but man, the depth, the gravity of it. That's why I said you're a sage of our time. I think I now understand how the contemporaries of Rumi might feel when they were listening to him so many centuries ago craft his brilliance. So thank you, Lanton.
Thank you. I feel honored to hear you, man. Thank you.
My
salutations to all these noble poets here, and a special feature my younger brother, whom I met in person here in London. Amazing.
Yeah, there's a great photo of the two of you walking, captured. I can't remember. I'm not sure who took it. I don't know if it was Genevieve or whoever took that photo of the two of you walking. It looked like a kind of.
I think it was Pongo's friend. I think maybe.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah, I remember that photo very well. So, and then there was another one of the two of you. I just looked at the way he was looking at you, but I understand why he would look at you that way. So. Anyway, brother, always good to hear you and have you here. Thank you for your continued support. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, and another brilliant poet, storyteller, creative soul, because she does so many different things. But I think she's just a person that always tries to be there for everyone to the best of her ability, not just in guiding them with writing, but just in life. And trying to help the best way she can. Just a brilliant soul. Genevieve, the mic is yours.
Well, howdy there, pilgrims, because my hat seems to have cocked in a way that looks more like a cowboy hat than a trilby. But thank you. Niabonga, my dear brothers, thank you so much, and thank you for that. Really, what a beautiful statement. Espongo, you have wetted my pen, and I have a brand new piece, literally as of today, as of this performance, written for you because you inspired me immediately during your performance. So this is called Make Your Own Light. Response. My actions, how do they preach? Take up the lights. They operate under false pretense, stored with penny pinched from the wooden grounds of the fearful and the powerful. Take up the lights as they vanish into welcoming darkness. Three times I have seen South African creators speak with such prose that their homesteads blew fuse boxes. Take up the lights as they sing in loud red, black, yellow, white, gold, and green. Visions may dissipate, but not the sound systems. We blend so well into ambience. Take out the lights. Oh, we blend so well into conversation. Our pictures can be delved for the data. Our hopes brought forward into novels, but the beat is deeper than photons, more divine than sentience. The lights go out. We go on. We deliver. With the echo of our timber so that we are Plato's shadows and the solid things. The lights are out, but not we. And dear friend, dear teacher, dear supporter, dear so many things, Rawley, do I have time for, hopefully, I'll get through it all, one more piece? That if one was an ode to a boy of Africa, this is an ode to Africa.
Of course you do.
Thank you. Africa sings, blessed me. Say hello to your children, Ma. Here lie I, child of Hampshire, port baby of Devon, raised by double household. What is homeland? What is home? What is she? Africa sings across Facebook, across Instagram, a whole universe of Twitter, subgroup by subtype, by subcontinent, by subs per city. Songs that belong to the many. Africa sings multi-voiced records, poets across an expanse I've barely touched. But play me an Afro beat and let's see what Mama gave me. Africa hums. Too often I have been titled Ma. I am the wandering one. No partner, no children, nor breaking writer, a liability. No ring may tame her. As I, and so did not my ancestors. Africa laughs. Bless you, she laughs long and loud. She has foreseen pain, misrepresentation, mistreatment, torn, tethered, tortured, terrorized. Yet generation to generation, new writers emerge. They emerge. Africa calls to me and I cannot obey the command. If arms could grow feathers, I would fly across the lines of my DNA. I'd watch her dawn and dusk endlessly, yet to travel through here and into my now, the domains of the country I currently reside in. Africa can be found in so many fossils of my existence. New contacts are made on the daily. Aye! Brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties, my siblings of every gender. Old friends I miss so much, generational findings, migrations never straightforward. It leaves scraps everywhere. Africa can be found. Now let me take you to a club with a glass of something something. I'll release agony and energy and into the night air, half singing words I'm still learning to speak. Thank you.
I think you have mastered how to speak. Well done. Africa can be found in every corner, in every cell, every DNA. We're all Africa. We all came out of Africa. So well done, Genevieve. Well done. Brilliant piece. And yes, this host fuse box was blown by the African contingent. Next Saturday, if any of you are interested, you'll see me promoting it this coming week. I have a very special show spotlighting beautiful poetic minds out of the refugee camp of Malawi, right? Africa continues to give wholeheartedly and with an open heart, and now she's really giving her people freedom to truly shine, and we need to do our best to uplift them. So I hope you can come out and support them. But that's a brilliant piece, Genevieve. It just highlights everything that we've been talking about. So thank you so much. I always find it interesting, though. I never heard of Pilgrim with a bit of a British accent before, but I found that interesting. So, well, and then there was one. It was not my intention, but it worked out that way. So now we get to go home with the Velvet Voice, aka the Professor, aka Ian Mack. Another brilliant voice. A voice that doesn't just know how to pen words together and craft them into beautiful metaphors, but performance just by speaking it. His natural tone, the control he has is just brilliant. So I'm going to shut up and say, Mr. Ian, the Velvet Voice, please take us home.
Yeah, after that role, I'm probably going to get a prompt attack of hiccups and make a balls of everything. So thank you. Yeah. Wow. What an honor wrapping up such an array of poets from Sfongo through to Genevieve. The time has gone by so quickly. I've only had time to make one cup of tea during the whole session. And wow, yeah, just amazing. So I got three poems, fairly brief. So this first one, this most recent one, it's called A Brief History of Hands, Part 3. I'll tell you about the other two some other time. Look how far we've come walking on our hands, those ultimate signifiers, the hand of God, all hands on deck, the hand that rocks the cradle. To be dealt a bad hand seems to be a clear sign how our fates are wrapped up in how we see ourselves, how we negotiate our place in the world, in the universe. To shake hands is the very epitome of trust and friendship, how we seal the deal. Indeed, to remonstrate by the use of an expression the like of "get your paws off me" seems to be the end game in the very way of insults, hands reduced to the level of brute animalism. It doesn't get much lower than that. That's the first one. The second one, I was very fond. I've got a big fan of Terry Riley with his minimalism, and I have several of his albums by various musicians, and particularly the Kronos Quartet. And there's one I had, it's called Cadenza on the Night Plane. So I thought about taking that setting and changing it around. And I thought about poets on the night planes. And then I thought, okay, well, the poet sounds a bit boring. So it's the sad-eyed poets on the night planes. I always think of poets as a bit sad-eyed because they're very concerned about things going on in the world. Look at all them blind poets hanging around on the night planes with their cadenzas and fancy footwork. What are they waiting for? Emoluments or faint praise to boost tired egos? You'd think they had somewhere else to be, somewhere more comfy, free of night sweats and terrifying dreams of prophetic visions which nobody wants to know. Instead, they simply sit and stare into the nothingness or look up, dark-rimmed eyes raised to the star-encrusted heavens, expecting manna to fall down like wild shooting stars, trailing golden threads of inspiration, ears cocked to pick up faint dulcet voices plucked from the crisscross of tangential airwaves, tuning in to the whims of temperamental gods, those masters of cruel fates and forlorn hopes, the call of fickle chance, the random deposition of probability. Everyone has to wait and see what's in store for them. No one is spared that hanging on the rack, but the sad-eyed poets on the night planes want more than that, more than a meaningless prediction pulled screaming from a hapless fortune cookie. They want it all or nothing, but there are no cast-iron certainties in this inconstant world, where sad-eyed poets sit languishing in despair, waiting on their muse to dole out that definitive undefinable, shedding tender tears to fall as molten words onto the page, held up like a plaintive votary holding out the begging cup, waiting for deliverance. So the final one. This one is an older poem. This is one of the first attempts I had at doing cut-up poems. And I was always looking for interesting articles that I thought there'd be some nice, interesting phrases. And it was quite kind of odd. Some of the ones that kind of turned up gave me the most inspiration. This one is from an article from the New Scientist journal. And it was an article on the subject of glowworms. But I promise you, no glowworms were harmed in the making of this poem. I promise you. Okay, so it's called Living Lights. It is nearly time. The light is fading fast. The greatest magic cannot be captured without recourse to metaphors, brimming with life and macabre darkness. Between experiments, I am waiting for something else, something insistently beautiful. I feel small, clutching a stem of grass, mapping a sparse field where rabbits graze, such courteous beasts. I am searching for snowfields strewn with bones, under lunar landscapes emerging after twilight. Shining tiny beacons of thin starlight guide this distracted wanderer to kneel and peer with the keen thrill of anticipation that I chase year after year after year. Thank you for listening.
Wow. That's just purely exquisite, my friend. All three pieces, beautiful pieces. Beautiful pieces.
Thank you.
There's no cast iron certainty. The only cast iron certainty I know is the moment that we just shared. You have such a way of capturing life, Ian. I do truly enjoy listening to you. Makes you want to stop and just listen, just totally take it in. Thank you again for taking the mantle of bringing the show to an end. I know it's a long thing for the last poet, but look around. So many stuck around. So many stuck around.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice the time at all, Ron.
It just flew by, and I'm trying to keep the show at a manageable time, but at the same time, I'm also not going to apologize for a long show because I've said it and I'll keep saying it. I want us to get back to a place where we can spend big chunks of hours together and not worry about the time and just fully embrace. And that's one of the beauties of what our poetry community does. You know, that's what the beauty of, you know, spoken world and and Oops Beehive and even Elemental and what he's doing with Eureka and all these different shows. It gives us an opportunity to come together. It's like in my poem, it's not just the 5 minutes that we wait to recite. It's being here for each other. It's seeing that we're connected and the use of technology that connects us. Many people write poetry. I don't necessarily agree with the subject matter, but what I agree with is the poem, is the creativity and the courage of a poet to speak their truth. And that should always be embraced. That should always be welcome. Because I truly believe we are the last bastion, us and comedians, of free speech. And if you truly value free speech, be a poet and write. Don't care if others agree with your viewpoint, your religious viewpoint, your sexual identification, how you see. I don't care. Write, share it, because you don't know how it's going to affect someone. And I've had too many examples where people have come up to me, or I've heard them come up to other poets and go, man, that piece, you wrote something that I couldn't articulate. That's one of our greatest powers. And the fact that we get to do it every month, not just this show, all the other shows. So it's not just the 5 minutes. Because 2 hours is really nothing. It's what goes in the 2 hours. That's what matters. What a brilliant, brilliant show today. First off, Sofongo, I will always be a fan. I will always applaud you. I'll find ways in my way to help you, whichever way. You just ask, because I think you are a true force of nature. The young ones in your community are so fortunate to have you. The people in your country are so fortunate to have you. I know it's not your homeland where you were born, but Sierra Leone is lucky to have you. Keep uplifting yourself, because you're like a wake. The more you uprise, the more you drag people with you. You uplift them. Like I said about lantern, it takes a lit candle to light another candle. And you too, my brother, are a lit candle. The ancestors are proud. And to all my fellow poets, all of you, Alexandra, Marianne, and Zomkhonto, with that beautiful collaboration, and Jennifer and her powerful, powerful work. Richard, the reminder of why we need to get in check with power and stop abusing those that don't have it. And Ashley, your courage, your storytelling. Dee Allen, the voice of history, the voice of rebellion, and just a powerful, powerful Black man that's proud to be that. The new poet Dee from Sierra Leone, thank you for bringing your presence here. And like I said, you wrote your wedding vows for your future wife. My brother Gene, you're not just a businessman, my friend. You do have a poetic heart, and I do believe you're a brilliant writer when it comes to poetry. Laura, storytelling par none. I love the way you craft your stories. And Nik, my brother, like I said, I've heard your hosting. I've heard maybe one or two of your poems, but man, all kidding aside, and the humor of it, you have a powerful voice. I love the way you write and how you tell a story. Love it. Love it. That was a treat for me today. Somdatta, you are up and coming. Actually, forget that. You are here. You are here. Now keep climbing. Keep climbing. You take a backseat to no one. Lantern, simply the sage of our time. And Genevieve, you are a definite storm goddess. You do so much. You do so much, but I'll not forget that you're a poet at heart. You're a poet at heart. And then the velvet voice, Ian Mack. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for the dignity and the grace that you bring into poetry. And to all the other folks,
you're giving us too many flowers. I mean, you have to take your flowers too, you know. And for hosting this platform, we say that a selfless self-giver is nothing but love's victory banner carrier. You're carrying the spirit of love. You're carrying the spirit of the ancestors in terms of how Fongo has described it, you know, from the Most High and the creation itself as elements or instruments of the Most High. And every aspect of the life is a tree, and the branches are all significant. And we are different branches on the life tree. And every single thing has a use and a purpose and an importance. And you're playing a significant role in this drama of the Most High's divine game. And so kudos to you, my brother.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I am but a servant to us, to the village.
Of the servant of Ram.
I am but the servant. I am honored that I can do this. You guys thank me. I always say I feel like I'm robbing from you, because the honor is mine. The Inspired Poetry Corner, yeah, I started it, but it doesn't work without you, without your voice, without your words, without your presence, without your heart. In the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because you are. That's why. We do this together. And this is what I'm hoping. That's why I said I am a servant to the village. I am hoping that we will finally get this, that one day we will get this. We are in this together. We are in this together. We've been doing this for a while now. This is not our first rodeo or our first cricket match or our first soccer game. We have been doing this forever. Maybe we'll start realizing we are connected, not just through technology, but the simple fact that we breathe the same air. We drink the same water. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you for making this another special, special Sunday kind of love. Sifanga, go celebrate, brother. When I celebrate, I like to have chocolate cake. So go find some chocolate cake and celebrate because you deserve it. Yeah, I do. I love to celebrate with chocolate cake. When I used to coach football, and whenever my team did well, or one of my players did well, I'll call his parents over and say, you need to take him home and make chocolate cake and celebrate with chocolate cake.
You read my mind. My Costa coffee is only 5 minutes away.
Yeah, if I feel good, I've done something
cake.
good. I always celebrate. Have a chocolate cake with the coffee.
Yeah. It's something about chocolate cake, man. But I'll say this. I'm stealing this from my first feature this year when she said, "Now your Sunday can begin." After the Inspired Poetry Corner, now your Sunday can begin. But it already did begin. What a brilliant way. I love you all. And I don't say that flippantly. I do love you all.
Well, while you're there, what is the date of the Malawi thing next week?
Next Saturday morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is noon time in the UK. It is 1 o'clock Western African time. And then what time? It's
I'll get it for you.
I think it's 1 or 2 o'clock in Malawi time. When I post it again this week, I'll try and put in some of the different time zones. I believe it starts at 5:30 Indian time. But I'm going to invite a lot of the organizers of all the different shows. I would just love people to come out and support these young poets.
1 p.m. British time.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. 1:30.
One was supposed to be here today, but I'm pretty sure he was having connections issues. We were fortunate enough that Charles, the young man that I'm working with, was able to find us a space that where they can all gather, and the connection and the Wi-Fi is a lot better. So hopefully that will pan out. But look, I'm just like you guys. I'm just trying to do my part to spotlight poetry, but more is. It's not just the poetry, it's the poets. And that's my invitation to you. You write poetry, but remember, you are the poetry. The poetry lives in you. You are the poetry. So be that. Be that flow. Be that contrast. Be that contradiction. Be the metaphor. Be it all. But you are the poetry. Be gentle with yourself.
Can I just ask for your permission to share one of my happiness today with all of you?
Yes, I kind of actually did ask that question, so please do share something. Go ahead.
Okay. Today I received this over my poetry writing.
Icon of India. Congratulations. Wow.
Oh, wow. Well done.
That's awesome.
This is the certificate. This is the memento, and this is the medal they have given.
Wow. Good for you, Somdatta.
Nice.
Wow.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm
That's
enjoying the
wonderful.
best out of all of this is the smile on your face.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Smile in our hearts.
I
It's
was
gone
really
beyond the page.
expecting everybody's blessings and
Congrats.
thank you so much.
You know, you remind me of when I was coaching football. And I always loved coaching youth, young people. And you can train them as much as you want, but they don't always get it. But there is a moment, and Marianne, you might experience that as a teacher, even you, Ian, when you see a student, when the light switch finally goes on and they get it, and they get it. And that's what Somdatta, that's what you kind of remind me of. It's like you're really now coming into your own and you're feeling it and you're getting it. So well done. Thank you for sharing that with us. I am grateful for that. That is definitely going to be one of my moments of gratitude today. And to all the other people, like I said, that just showed up today. This is not an open mic show, and I know sometimes people show up thinking it is, and they're a bit disappointed. But for those that just showed up and to be an audience member, thank you so much for supporting us, supporting the poets. Go and be amazing, people. Go spread your light. Go spread your love. Go spread your wisdom. Go spread your poetry. We'll see you next month. We have a special guest. Neil Deswani is going to be our featured poet. So same time, same bat channel next week. But go be amazing. I love you all. Thank you for being here.
Peace.
Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Blessed
Bye bye,
Sunday.
everyone.
Blessed Sunday.